Hey everyone, Chris the Thrift Shop Hustler here with another What Sold on eBay Today. If you're not following and subscribed, definitely go down there, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. And at any point you learned anything on today's show, please click the like button and all that stuff. It definitely helps out with the metrics and things like that. Once again, I am Chris the Thrift Shop Hustler, reseller on Steemit. And let's get right into it, shall we? Today we have this Wii Buckshot shotgun box controller. Now, as a matter of fact, if I could find the video where I found this, I will put it up here. And what happened was I actually got this for free, if you can believe it or not. This is actually a very rare Wii accessory. Now, don't underscore certain accessories. As a matter of fact, I had no idea about this till I got home. Like I said, if you watch that video, check it out. It's actually pretty funny. I actually got this for free. This is something that I paid $10 for a Wii system that had a few games, I believe. It definitely had a whole complete Wii system for $10. And they said, hey, why don't you just take this with me? And I looked at it. It is brand new, sealed. And sure enough, this actually is something that has gone as high as $200 before. I actually had this listed for about a month and a half, and I took a best offer for $83.99 or something in that neighborhood. And so something that was given to me for free happened to be a very rare Nintendo Wii accessory. So just always look up everything. I swear, some of the craziest things you think are never going to be worth anything, sometimes they're worth something. Next up, we have this Redskins Boss Hoggett Hall of Fame 98 signed bobblehead. Now this thing is trashed to hell. As you can see here, this box is just totally ripped up. Now, I saw this, and it was signed, by the way. I saw this, and I know that certain bobbleheads actually go for a pretty good amount of money. I will literally almost buy any bobblehead if it's under $4. This one was, I think this one was like $6, a little high for like a really trashed bobblehead. And I looked it up, and these were going for the neighborhood of like, I don't know, like $50 to $80 for in mint condition. So I ended up buying this. I actually think I might have got a discount on this too. Maybe I paid like $4 for this. And I took it home, and I listed it, and in about a couple weeks, it sold in this condition, if you can believe it. I think I took a best offer for $34.99 or something like that. But anyways, it was a good little flip. If I did this every day, like 10 times a day, I'd be completely happy. And what my main thing is always look up bobbleheads when you find them. I find bobbleheads more than I ever have before. I think just because, lots of sports teams are doing exclusive bobbleheads all year long. People don't really look these up. They think they're pretty much worthless, and they donate them. And some of the older ones, the limited edition ones, can go for hundreds of dollars if you can find them. The vintage ones, forget it. Forget about finding the vintage ones. There was a whole time in the 90s where there was a resurgence in bobblehead collecting. That's actually what led to where we're at now. But anyways, there was a whole resurgence of people just buying up old bobbleheads. So finding old ones, there's actually a few ways that you can actually find old bobbleheads, but I'm not going to get into that. Maybe I'll do another video. But what I'm saying is finding older bobbleheads from the 60s and the 50s, forget about it. Those days are sealed. If you're going to find those, you're probably going to find those at estate sales or garage sales, but finding those online or anything like that, just forget about it. But anyways, my whole point of this was just to look up all the bobbleheads you see, especially also a pro tip, and I forgot to mention this. I'll open them up and make sure that all the pieces are there. For the most part, bobbleheads come in one solid piece. Sometimes hockey ones come with a hockey stick that comes out or a baseball bat that comes in and out. Also make sure these are not broken. These are kind of like a resin plaster almost. Plasticky sometimes, and these things do tend to break from time to time. So just make sure that if you're buying something at $4 or $5, you're going to look at it to make sure it's not broken. Next up, we have this Space Jam VHS, and I had this actually on listed for almost 2 years. Sometimes when I find interesting VHSs, especially Disney ones that are sealed, I usually find them for $0.25 or less. I'll pick them up. I think I paid $0.25 for this at a Goodwill on a half-off day or something ridiculous like that. Anyways, I've had this for a long time, and like I said, I sold this for $12.95. Space Jam 2 is coming out, so if you have any older Space Jam things, it might be a good idea to start listing those right around when the movie comes out, when you're going to get the most percentage of Google views and Google searches and things like that. There's a whole thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and I wish I had a piece of paper right here because I don't think that's a video people have made yet. Anyways, I'm sidetracking. Definitely check out VHSs. For the most part, 90% of VHSs you're going to find are pretty much worthless. If you can find them brand new, sealed, that's another whole ballpark, and even some of those are worthless. VHS is something that you definitely have to do research in. I bought this. There's multiple things going on here. It's okay. So the reason why I picked this up, it's sealed. It's got a coin in it. It's like a weird kind of gift. Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, Warner Brothers, cartoons. There's all these factors. I was like, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna take a little bit of a thing. It did stay on for about a year before it sold. So we're definitely gonna do that. Next up, we have these Elder Scrolls Legends E3 exclusive cards. I had these actually for a while. Whenever you go to conventions and things like that, especially if you go to gaming conventions, sports card conventions, Comic Cons, there's a lot of free swag out there, and sometimes that stuff actually goes for a lot of money. What I do is I got some of this, and I listed this a while ago, but I ended up selling them for $6.99 plus free shipping. So there is that. So definitely look out for exclusives if you go to any kind of conventions or things like that. This actually sold, shipped, I think, first class. It was like weighed pretty much nothing. Next up, we have this 2018 Top Series 2 Bryce Harper, getting back into baseball cards and things like that. Sometimes you can sell your singles. A lot of the cards from the 80s and the 90s aren't worth that much. They're pretty much worthless in the 80s unless they're like old 80s or mid 90s when some of the newer stars that are Hall of Famers that haven't came out yet are out. What I want to say is just don't pass up baseball cards. I've been into baseball cards since I was 8 years old. So what was the year was that? 1988. I've been into baseball cards, so I know an extreme amount of knowledge about these things. But sometimes you can find these at garage sales and things like this. This one actually happens to be a relic card, and for those that don't know, game used memorabilia. It's a piece of a bat. So there's a piece of wood inside there embedded. Sometimes they have jersey ones that are similar. So if you go to a garage sale and you see a bunch of these type of cards, like in a box, some of them aren't going to be worth that much, maybe $1 or $2 each. But if you go upon a garage sale or estate sale that has tons of these, and you get a whole box of them for like $20 or $50 or something in that neighborhood, it's definitely worth picking up. So I'm just planting the seed in your head to see. And there's also other places that there's almost like there's an Amazon FBA type deal for baseball cards too, and maybe I'll make another video about that. I need to actually get a notepad here because there's so much good content I think you guys are never going to see on YouTube that I should probably share. Next up, we have these Funko Pops. I've talked extensively about Funko Pops before, and as a matter of fact, I still get emails to this day saying thank you for letting us know about Funko Pops. I found one for like $2 at a garage sale. It's worth like $100, $200. So they're out there. This one happened to be a Karate Kid one with no box. I bought these a long time ago. They actually put these on my desk at work. I ended up like putting them away. I threw away the boxes like an idiot. What happens is some of these figures retire. Like if it's like they're actually called getting vaulted. And vaulted is actually a good term to use, especially if they're vaulted. If they're not vaulted, don't use the term. That's just, like, that's just, you're going to get into trouble, especially with some of the Funko collectors and things like that. But these happen to be retired. Took a best offer for $41.99 for this. I was actually trying to get $60 for this. I want to say the Daniel LaRusso one's the harder one to find in the box. If these had their boxes and they were in mint condition, they would have gone for about $40 to $50 each. I haven't looked them up recently, but that's the neighborhood that they were going, especially when the new Karate Kid show came out on YouTube. These things were just like on fire. Next up, we have these wine enthusiast tags, resin coated. What's funny is there was like a huge case of these I found at the thrift store. Maybe like 50 or 100 of these packages, and these actually go for about $8 to $10 a piece. So I ended up selling some of these for $6.99 with free shipping. I mean, I paid 25 cents. To me, it's just a volume thing on these. I still have a bunch of these, and hopefully the rest will sell. But what I'm saying is definitely look at some of the odd things. This was an odd pickup, and for sure I thought these would have sold out already. But like I said, sold a few of these, but I wanted to let you guys know just to kind of look for the odd little things like that. So that is that. Once again, I am Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler here. If you learned anything, if you got any new knowledge, please definitely click the like button. Leave a comment below. I love reading you guys' comments every day. Definitely click the bell for notifications and click that subscribe button. We are racing towards 6,000 followers, and I really appreciate everyone's support. And we'll see you next time on What Sold on eBay. Take care.